Hello everyone, it's favorites of the month time, and I am going to be focusing on those favorites of mine that are rediscovered, that are nothing new, that have been in my collection for a while. Because as I look around in my little favorites bag, most things are in that category. You know, they're not a brand new item. And I do have newer things that I've enjoyed, but with some of those it's kind of a fine line. Like for example, these soft matte cream blushes. I feel like, yeah, they're great and I've been experimenting with them quite a bit and I really love them, but have I used them enough for them to be a favorite of the month? You know, I'm not sure. But as you can see by the old makeup headband, we're gonna be putting all this stuff on, so I'm making a full face out of this. And yeah, let's start off with the base products. I feel like just looking around at what I have out here, there are a couple of different things. Just my Wet n Wild photo focus, like how many times has this come up in a favorites video? But I love this foundation, guys. This is just the regular, the matte in soft beige. I've also been experimenting with lots of different lightweight coverage products, and maybe it's just the contrast. Maybe it's like going to this and seeing all the coverage. Just about dumped the whole bag out. Hey, I'm impressed with those 5 a.m. reflexes. But maybe it's just the contrast of seeing the staying power and the coverage out of this that kind of impresses me all over again, but I love this stuff. I like the dewy as well. I do not feel like the dewy lasts as well on me. That was my most recent observation, being out in the heat, really putting it through some things because it's getting hot again. We're getting to those times where, yeah, you're really testing your makeup if you're outside playing with the kids, going to the playground, getting home, sweat dripping down your face. This lasts a little better than the dewy for me. Another one that I've been getting back into, and I don't know if I've ever used this on camera, but this Fenty Eavesdrop Blurring Skin Tint. I really like this stuff, okay? I think this is really good, actually. And you know what it reminds me so much of? This L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Because I feel like they're both lightweight, really thin products, but yet they do still have some coverage and they just feel very light on the skin. They're not like those tinted moisturizers that leave you feeling like, oh my gosh, this is such a thick amount of moisture. They're both more toward the foundation-y end of things, but still incredibly light. So I like both of these, but this one's been getting used quite a bit more. So I think I'm going to use this today just because I haven't shown it much on camera. This has a 9 on it, but I'm wondering if that was a mistake and I'm actually 6 on the shade. I need to actually look up from long ago when this was originally ordered from Sephora and make sure about that. But I'm just dabbing it around. The shade is really perfect when I've got some self-tanner going. Right now a lot of that is worn off. I haven't put any on in a bit. And then another favorite, another rediscovered love is definitely this e.l.f. Complexion Duo brush. It's just like the It Cosmetics one pretty much. Like they kind of got the ball rolling on that concept, and I feel like this is so good and I'm just wanting to reach for it all the time. It's kind of given my Real Techniques Expert face brush a bit of a break, but given the fullness of this side, I feel like this could multitask even beyond what the Expert face brush does, because I would use this for cream blush. I would use it for cream contour even, and plus you got that concealer side. So you see how I'm just blending this in and I'm getting a really pretty look on my skin, but it's so thin, it's so lightweight. But I can't help but put it on and be so reminded of the look of my skin with this L'Oreal stuff on. But see, that was so easy. I felt like I wasn't even hardly trying to blend that in, and boom, we're there. Another rediscovered thing, before I went and repurchased this really recently, I've been getting back into my stick from Neutrogena, my Hydro Boost Hydrating Concealer. It's such a good concealer, you guys. Like, the more I use it, the more I love it, the more I get back into it. I have it in Fair. I feel like Fair and Light are really close shades, but Fair is maybe a little bit warmer actually, but it has this hydrating core and it is absolutely like the juiciest stick concealer you're gonna find. It's beautiful, the texture of this. Another decent one from the drugstore is the Almay Skin Perfecting, but this is truly even creamier. So you see the way I just swiped that on? There's something about just swiping on a stick concealer that's so satisfying. And then I can take good old Complexion Duo and I can use this and then do a real quick flip around and make sure stuff's getting into this corner, right? I've also used my Wet n Wild Incognito concealer a ton. That concealer is kind of underrated. I feel like I use in quantity, I just use a little bit more of it compared to what I would use of e.l.f. Camo Concealer, and it does such a good job. And the shade, I believe it's called Light Beige in that. The shade is so perfect, like that perfect middle ground of covering and brightening. So I've used that a bunch. It works great with the Photo Focus foundation or pretty much anything. But here I am with that concealer all blended in, and it's not like my fullest coverage, but I love it. I absolutely love the look of it. What it blends out to be is so pretty on the skin, and I can build up a little bit in certain areas, you know, that's no problem. But that hydrating core, like it's such a good concealer. They need a better shade range is the problem. But this has been on the market a while, and they really should have done that at the get-go, you know? But there's my skin looking, I think, really juicy and hydrated, but to the touch, still not feeling disgusting, you know? Like I don't love that super stickiness, but I like that look a lot. Wet n Wild Photo Focus Translucent, y'all. Love this powder. Love it so much. If you enjoy a loose powder for certain steps of your makeup, like setting your T-zone or setting your under eye, you gotta try this one. Like, you've got to pick it up. Did this not win an Emily Award this past time? Like, this became such a favorite like in the last year, and I just keep going back to it, keep reaching for it. It's not new in my collection, but I love it. It truly is the bargain Laura Mercier, and I'm not sure when I will run out of it. I just feel like I have so much. It's a pretty big container, but this will greatly help my staying power as I go throughout the day and do get outside and sweat and do all the things. Like, we're slightly less glowy now, but it's fine because we'll take care of that. But like, look at my nose. My nose, after having that Fenty on there and then like topping it with this powder, pores are completely and totally blurred. Oh, this was a big rediscovery this past month. My Pure palette, they do still sell these, the 4-in-1 Skin Perfecting Powders Face Palette in Fair Light. I love this. This was part of one of my favorite looks of the month, which was my kind of fresh and pulled together makeup look. The one that I kind of labeled in the thumbnail, somewhere between natural and glam. Like, this palette was used on the face and on the eyes, and I love every single step that's in here. It does have this nice like little matte powder that I could have used just like for under eye setting. It's really good, and it wears really well in that area. Like, doesn't add to any cakiness, but it definitely does brighten. Then you've got an incredible bronzing powder here slash contour powder. The tone is so great, and so I'm just using some of that up around the hairline. And this, I feel, really is a good value because you're getting 4 key makeup steps in one palette. Travel friendly, got that mirror there. In addition to this, you could add in, for bare minimum, foundation, concealer, mascara, something for the brows, and a lip product, and you've got a pulled together face for sure. See the way that contours there? Like, so good. And this truly was a product that at the get-go, when it was new to me, I loved it. I definitely knew its worth, but I just, you know, you try other things, you kind of move on, and you forget a little bit. Okay, really trying to sculpt some things here. That impresses me every time. Now for blush, while this palette as a whole has been amazing, I also do feel like I've used this a good amount, my Cotton Candy Champagne palette. So, I don't know, to show you this, in case you missed my other video. Wait a minute, nobody's crazy enough to be out there missing videos. Well, sometimes they don't get their notifications. Okay, this blush, this Dusty Rose, is beautiful. And yeah, we are gonna top it off with something from the Cotton Candy Champagne palette. How about that? Ooh, so nice. Oh my gosh, if this isn't one of the best things Pure has ever made. And the really neat thing about it too is that it comes in all different skin tones. So if you're looking at this and you're like loving the concept, but you're nowhere close to my skin tone, check out what they have available because there are several options. I love how I can get the fair light, and I feel like every part of it is plenty intense for me, but yet this powder isn't too dark. Like, it just, really good decisions were made. And what the heck, let's throw on the highlighter and then we'll add more blush, just so you can see what the full look from this palette is all about. Look at that, like, come on now. Enjoyable, beautiful, satisfying, just every bit of glow that we had pre-powder and then some has come back. Okay, are you sure you want to go in and add more like glowy blush? Absolutely. It's okay, just a little bit. Cotton Candy Champagne Palette. This is from Beauty Bakery. This should have been the Mother's Day present, the graduation gift, but it can be a great little anytime gift too because they package it so adorably. Like when you get it, it's in a little cute little box and there's like little cotton balls on the top there. It's just very festive and fun. And you know, if you're cheersing with champagne, it's like a very celebratory little palette. But guys, the worth in this palette goes so far beyond the packaging and the cuteness because these are blushes that you will have and love and cherish. My tip would be don't overuse them. It takes just a little bit. Let's use a little Stop and Smell the Rosé. Okay, that's this shade right here. And just add a little bit. I'm going a bit lower on the cheek, it feels like. Just adding to that glow, and I'm not sure you can tell, but like the skin is glowing in a whole other way right down there. This is one of those more like little neutral blushes in the mix. You got a palette full of them and every shade is great. So we got that, and then I might take just a little bit of the 24-hour champagne diet and just pop a little bit of that fun pinky coral right here. Let it drape over the nose. Glowing. Glowing skin. Beautiful. I love absolutely everything about this, and every time I use it I fall in love with it all over again. I really rediscovered this e.l.f. Skinny or Ultra Precise brow pencil in cool brown this month. It was a product I kind of fairly recently repurchased, but when I originally tried it, it was quite a long time ago, so it kind of feels like a rediscovery. And it's just good. It really fills in my brows well. I feel like I have a ton of control. I always feel like I'm more of a proponent for the e.l.f. Instant Lift. I feel like it's even more like, what is it, just $3 now? I know it was $2 for the longest time. And that's kind of always been a favorite, but I don't know, I'm really liking having this precision of this little guy. And you still have that spoolie to kind of move it on through the brow when you're ready. Just a really good tone. I dig it wholeheartedly. Like, look at that finished brow. And then you spoolie it up. So nice. And then, you know, let's set it. I didn't specifically pick out a rediscovered brow gel, but NYX Control Freak is kind of having a rediscovered moment in my collection because that's been around for a good long while. And look how we can just go over where we'll get the best hold possible. And it's perfect. It's lovely. We've been at the playground a lot lately. We've got a playground close to our house. And you know what I just love is the setting free of the kids to the playground. Like they get there, they're approaching, and then it's just freely running. You know, it's not like there's a bunch of thoughtful like, will I stand here and what might I do? It's just like kids get into this mode where they're just going to be running. They're just going to be quickly flying from one thing to the next. And the kids who are there, whether they know them or not, most of the time something gets started up, you know? And it's just so sweet. And like Biddy, there's a little girl from her pre-K class that was there the other day. And before we left, I saw all the girls hugging. I'm like, Biddy, that was sweet. And she was like, yeah, I introduced her to my sister. It's just so cute. So we've gone through that brow. Does it look even? And then our beautiful gel. I made the easiest chicken Parmesan over the weekend, and we just like finished up the leftovers the other night. I know what decent Italian food tastes like. I know this is not what you're gonna get in Italy, but when you're a mom of 3 and you're trying to make a good meal for a Sunday night that's gonna actually take you into the week a ways, feed the family for a little while, this is good. All you do is you cook up a pound of spaghetti and you mix that with a jar and a half of spaghetti sauce and I want to say a couple of cups of shredded mozzarella cheese. I like the mozzarella provolone mix. You can add in some garlic powder, Italian seasoning, whatever ways you like to season up Italian food. Get that all mixed up. Put that in your 9x13 casserole dish. Pop on a bunch of those frozen chicken patties on top of that. Let it bake for a while, and then toward the end of the baking, you add some more sauce and some more cheese on top. The recipe didn't call to do that, but I just gathered that maybe the chicken patties would end up less soggy if you didn't like start with all that on there. And then I would say get a little extra sauce so when you reheat, because the spaghetti, there's so much spaghetti in this and it just like kind of wants to suck up the moisture, have some extra sauce on hand when you reheat so you can kind of add to it. But my gosh, was that good. And Bub loved it and the kids all ate it. And I'm sorry, but it's not easy to get a 2, 5, 7-year-old and 2 adults to like feel the same way about everything. But that was a hit. I will link to the actual recipe below. I found it on Pinterest, and I mean, that's pretty much like, Pinterest is my recipe book. You know, all my saved stuff is there. All right, we gotta move on, guys. We gotta get down to business here. Milani eyeshadow primer. Eye look wise, have I bounced around quite a bit? Yes, I have. But have I overall gravitated toward a simple look? I think so. I could go with my Pure palette on the eyes, or I could show you just another palette that is rediscovered and much loved. Except I don't think, can you rediscover something that's never been undiscovered? It's just a favorite that's been a favorite for a long time. Persona Identity Palette. Like, this thing will never leave me. This is so good. I love this for everyday eye looks, all right? I know some people are seeing this and thinking snooze fest, but let's look at some of the nuances in here. You know, some of the really good little things that are happening. This shade is so brightening and pretty on the lids. You know, you got some nice shimmers there, mid-tones, things that could be very simple one shadow looks. And then mattes, like having the plum, having also this warmth. Set it up in the crease type colors. Your one matte highlight shade and your nice deep rich shade. This is rich as well. Like, it's so well balanced for a little 12 shade palette, and the textures are absolutely golden. Just get that, get that. Should I do maybe like a one shadow look with one of these shades? That might be fun, because that's kind of been my preferred way lately. Like, I've been into just using one of these Maybelline singles, the one in Nude Glow. It's kind of like a soft sort of rose gold, and then Tastefully Taupe for a cooler taupe, and you know, they're easy one shadow looks. I'm gonna use a shade that I don't often reach for in this one. It's called Goddess. I mean, I use it sometimes, but I'm gonna just go straight to the crease with that. I saw in a comment someone asking if it was safe to put shimmer in the crease. And I will say that if you are using a brush that diffuses your eyeshadow like this, like any kind of blending, fluffy type brush, you are going to get a different take on that color than you will if you just had a swipe of that full on your finger, or you were using a flat brush that really packed it on. When a shimmer shears out, it's a different animal, okay? Right now I'm doing that, and yes, I think you can totally get away with that. Now, granted, there are some shimmers out there that are just unruly and flaky and a mess and just hard in general. If it's hard to pat on your lid, it's going to be hard to shear out and make sense of it in your crease. But everything in here is really smooth. So yeah, take your pick. I mean, I think this shade, possibly this shade, this has quite a bit of reflectivity in it, Bombshell, but Bossy too. You know, those are all shimmers that can just play nicely here. And at a glance, you might not even think I've got a shimmer happening. So I'm just really blending the heck out of that. I don't think I've ever used this palette as just a one shadow look. It's kind of a challenge because I love the shades so much. I just want to bounce around. But there we are with Goddess. That's this bronze. And then just take my flat brush, same shade, and we'll just begin going all over our lid space with that. And it's catching the light now in a way that's just not happening with the crease. You know what I mean? It's looking like two different shades, because when you apply a shimmer concentrated, then it can really do all that light catching stuff. And when it's not concentrated, it just kind of recedes because it's so sheer. This is really pretty. This is absolutely like an ideal depth level for a one shadow look. Bright enough to catch the light, deep enough to create contrast. All one shade. Easy summer bronzy eye. I love that. Really enjoying that. And we stopped there. Like, isn't that so cool? A Rediscovered mascara. Recently repurchased the Essence Lash Princess Sculpted Volume. I love this. It does get better as you keep using it. Like, it just, the way it builds on the lashes is so nice. But I am going to pull in a little liquid liner. I think I'm going to do just like Soft Wing today with my NYX Epic ink. Wasn't necessarily selected as a favorite, but always great. Then we're shooting up. Small wing, but a wing nonetheless. I'm not sure that they perfectly match up, but that's okay. Have I told you guys that we have cardinals in our rose bush? I'm always seeing a cardinal. And you know what they say. When cardinals appear, angels are near. Now we pop on our sculpted volume with our little slightly curved brush, tapered tip. I kind of want to dig in like on the topic of that last video I did with the drugstore products duping more expensive drugstore products. Dig in and see like which Essence Lash Princess mascaras are the alternative to different higher priced mascaras, you know? Not that Essence/Princess needs any of my help getting their name out there. They're very popular, but I just think it'd be interesting. Look how pretty that is. I love that mascara. Builds up and gives you a really similar experience to IT Cosmetics Superhero. By the way, guys, I picked up a new thing. I picked up this Maybelline Fit Me. I had heard right off the bat before I think it even turned up in my store, I was hearing bad rumblings about this stuff. But then I stopped and thought, you don't always agree with everybody on things. We've all got different faces we're putting it on. You know, maybe I'll like it. Have you tried this and do you like it? I got the shade 120. We'll see. I haven't used it yet. Look at this. Look how pretty. Guys, I know it's not much, but it's making a difference. I have been really locked in on doing my 100 daily ab exercises. You do the things where you lay back and like you make your legs go hovering over the floor, and that's good on the lower abs, and then I do crunches for the upper abs. I'm not like an exercise guru. There's probably better exercises to do. I don't know. But they're both making a difference, and I try to do 100. When I'm sitting down to do it, I do 3 sets of 20 on the little leg things, and then I do 2 sets of 20 on the crunches. So that should be 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. So yeah, it equals out to 100. Math before 6 a.m. And I kind of set out to do that quite a while ago, but then I found that I wasn't doing it consistently. And then I'm like, you know how you do something for 1 or 2 days and then you're like, okay, where are my results now? I'm always that person. Maybe it's because I love makeup so much, and makeup is always instant gratification. So I do a few exercises and I'm like, okay, where's the results? But I've been doing it consistently. I've been making it a habit. I've been trusting that if I do it consistently, it will reap benefits, and it's starting to reap some benefits. So I feel good about that. I got these lashes. I've been meaning to use them more. They're the Kiss Lash Couture extensions, the volume full set. It says the ultimate lash extensions look. They're really pretty. I definitely trimmed them up a lot from the way they are in the package. But yeah, I just feel like adding a little va-va-voom today. But doing my 100 ab things a day, which it doesn't take any time at all. You know, you can always find the little chunk of time to sit down and do that. And if I don't get it done during the day, I make sure I do it right after the kids go to bed. And then pair that with at least getting 10,000 steps a day using my Fitbit. And yeah, good things are happening. Rein in the snacking a little bit. Summer bod's on the way. Summer bod might arrive in late August, but we'll see. But isn't consistency such a big part of all this, guys? I'm kind of believing it's not what you do, it's how often you do it. Wow, those are really, holy cow. Those didn't seem that big the last time I wore them. Is it just because my eye look was so simple? Is it because I haven't been glam in a few days? But, you know, creating a habit out of something. Creating good habits. I heard somebody say, like, focus less on trying to cut out bad habits. I think this was a Joyce Meyer thing. And put more attention on creating the good habits. And they will, in their own way, kind of, like, work out the bad habits. And it's kind of true. And I've got a neat planner that is very different from any planner I've ever had because it's just by the week. I wanted something that would lay out 1 week at a time for me. So it has plenty of space for me to write under every day what to do. And on the other side, it's got like a couple of little to-do list type of things. I try to keep one for just our everyday life stuff and one more like place to put makeup ideas and stuff like that. And then at the bottom, there's something called a habit tracker. And I put like morning devotional, night devotional, the 10,000 steps, the ab workout, and having my learning time with the girls. We still do something all throughout the summer. Maybe I should do like a summer routine video, like a vlog or something. Every morning we have some learning time still. I felt like it helped a lot doing it last summer. Kindergarten sent home a packet. A really great packet of worksheets and stuff to be doing all summer long, and they have different websites that help them like continue their reading progress and all that stuff. And we did that all summer long, like right up till the end last summer, and it was so good for her. I felt like she started first grade and it was just like boom. And I saw just recently on Instagram a person making fun of the packets sent home for summer learning, and it was like from the parent perspective saying, if you think we're gonna pick up one more thing and do one more thing over the summer. Like, I love that stuff. It creates some structure in our day, and we don't spend a long time doing it. But you know, Biddy's really excelling with her reading, and they enjoy it. They look forward to it. If you're trying to implement something like that, I would say keep it short. Keep it a short amount of time, and maybe create some little like end of the week reward if they get like 5 for 5 days of doing something like that. But once again, you know, Belle was sent home with the summer learning pack. We take that stuff seriously. We do that. I am lashed to the gods right now. It was a little more than I was thinking it would be, but that's fine. I'm keeping the focus all very much above the eye for the big lift today. Although I could do a little Cali Ray come hell or high water on the lower lashes. I don't even feel like I'm doing a video anymore. I feel like I'm just sitting here talking. This has become just one big discussion, has it not? A little lower mascara. Not that it makes any big difference, but it's there. What about lips? What about lips? Okay, I don't have them up here, but I keep all of my CoverGirl tinted balms. What do they call them? Clean Fresh tinted balms. I keep them in a little thing down in my bathroom. I have the berry colored one, the 2 reds, one's the cherry, one's the pomegranate, and I have a pink one. So a total of 4 that I keep down there. And then as my touch up throughout the whole day, if I'm like, you know, I just pick the one that most goes with the vibe of the day, and I love those. I love the feel and texture on the lips. I love the amount of color. They're perfect for being a good amount of color, but not to the point where it makes them fussy to put on. I've used the heck out of those. I mean, if we're really talking most used, it's those. But something I've also kind of rediscovered, a couple things here. Gosh, can somebody help me out here? Do they still make these plump line lip liners? Like, I've seen that they have a lip liner, but are they thick like this? This is a mini size of Hush Hush, and I love this shade. It's like a jumbo stick from Buxom, and I feel like I've looked up these liners, and they look skinny, and I'm kind of confused. Like, are they actually not skinny? What's a full size like of this? That's my question. Because this is a little chunky pencil, and I like it a lot. I like it being chunky. And I've just reached for it quite a bit. I've had it sitting here. I think it's kind of the proximity effect, you know, like if you have something just kind of sitting near you, you'd be more likely to grab it to do something quickly. It kind of reminds me of my Revlon Color Stay Lip Liner in Nude, just thicker and kind of maybe a little quicker to throw on, just like that. And it looks so pretty as is, does it not? And then I've been getting into just all things kind of like glowy, sparkly glosses. I've bounced around a lot on lips. So this is probably one of the most consistent things. This had been in my collection for a while, so definitely rediscovered status. But on the glosses, bouncing around a lot, trying different things that have some glimmer and some real prominent shine, like this e.l.f. lip lacquer in Love Bite. This bronziness on top of a nude base. I did this on TikTok, but the lighting may have not really captured it as well. This is like a multi-dimensional shimmer. It looks kind of pinky, kind of bronze at different times. But got that bronzy eye going. I don't know, guys, are we feeling the look? I mean, I feel like the eyes started to make a lot more sense once the lip came together. But yeah, I just feel like I've latched on to a lot of things that aren't necessarily very new, both not new on the market, not new in my collection. If you got your Persona palette, grab that out, do that super easy one shadow look, get out that Beauty Bakery palette, you know? You don't have to have this. Like I said, it's kind of similar to this, and I know so many people latched on to that L'Oreal True Match Nude, but the lightweight products with a concealer you love, and it can be a really good match. So thank you everyone for your time today. Thank you for listening to me talk about things like ab exercises. See, I gotta balance out the chicken Parmesan with the ab exercises. Balance, okay? And I don't eat the chicken Parmesan every night. I know you understand. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you very soon, and I love you. Thank you for watching. Bye.